Hi guys, it's Kai here and welcome back to my channel and welcome to an interior designer plays The Sims 4. I don't know if you know this, but I have a degree in interior design. I also work as a kitchen and bath specialist for my everyday job. So this idea came to me while watching James do his Dream Home Decorator series, his Rags to Riches series, which if you're not watching it, you should be. But this is actually the house that he had built for that. It's come a long way now, so if you watch his series, it's going to look different. But this is the one that they started out with. And while watching him renovate it, I realized that obviously The Sims is a game, so you can do whatever the heck you want in it. But there's a lot of things that we do when it comes to Sims builds that you could never do in real life. And being the OCD interior designer that I am, I decided I would try to do a realistic renovation in The Sims. So I have set some ground rules for myself in terms of like generic stuff. So whenever you're playing The Sims, if I were to like, let's say go redo this flooring with something else that cost less. Like if I were to redo this flooring with something that costs less, I would actually gain $96. And in real life, that's not how that works. That doesn't happen. Same with the wall colors. Doesn't happen. And if I were to remove this light, I would make money. That doesn't happen in real life. So ground rules being that like whenever I put in a flooring or something, instead of getting money back, no matter what, it's going to cost money. Same with deleting items. I'm not going to get any money from it. I do have a sim here, so I have $22,000 to spend on this renovation, but following my own little renovation rules. So I'm going to start it very simply by redoing, I think, all of the floors, and there's probably going to be some math involved. Because I think what I want to do is just like, I can't just remove the floors, no, because that's going to remove the room. I think what I'm going, oh god, I don't even know the math already. Let's see. Let me just pick a floor and then figure it out from there. Okay, I think I'm going to go with this floor, which actually in this room is $0, but it is $8 a foot. We're going to call these sim feet. So let me do the math real quick. Oh god. So let's see, it's 6 by 4, so it's 24 times 8. It's going to cost us 192 simoleons to do this room. Okay, that room done. Let's do... I'm going to do the kitchen with the same floor, which gives us money back, but then I also have to remove money for, so this is going to be complicated. Alright, that floor done. Moving on to the bedrooms, we're going to do carpet. And luckily this is going to be a little bit, it's easier when it says it costs 0, because then I don't have to do extra math. Okay, that's those two rooms. Now let's do a nice tile in the bathroom. Give it a good updated look, you know? Also, I'm doing this very like get in, get out house flipper style, so it's going to be very simple, very generic. Probably pretty boring, definitely has no style to it because you want to get in, buy the property for super cheap, flip it for super cheap, and then sell it for a big profit. Okay, so I know this might be a little overkill, so now we've technically only paid for the product to be, like, purchased for the floor. Now we have to put in the labor to actually put it in. So I'm gonna say, let's just get rid of an extra, like, 250 simoleons to do the whole house, new floor. Alright, floors have been paid for and installed. So next thing I want to do, I'm not going to be removing any walls or anything like that. I don't want this to be like too in-depth of a renovation because we could be here forever and I could talk in detail about what you can and can't do for renovations, but I don't know if you guys would find that interesting. If you guys do want me to go like hella into detail on renovations and like making a super realistic renovation in The Sims, I would love one to do that and share my knowledge with you guys, but also two, if it's something that you're interested in, let me know down in the comments below and maybe we can like make a hashtag or something so you guys can share houses and home or like rooms and homes to the gallery for me to renovate. Like that could be pretty cool. Want something that's, oh there it is, has the trim at the bottom but is simple. Okay, in these two main rooms we're just gonna go with white because you know we're house flippers. We gotta be generic and boring. Let me do math again. This is getting very complicated. Okay, painting and tile in the bathroom are done, but I need to remove money for actually doing the work. So we've paid for the item, but again, now we need to do the work. Again, I'm just gonna do like 250 to remove, like, there's no standard for what simoleons you would charge in doing this kind of work. So if someone was to make some sort of like challenge or like general guide to what kind of money it would cost for a sim to do the labor of painting and putting in tile, please let me know because I will follow your rules. Okay, we have 20,376 simoleons. So we spent almost 2,000 just in flooring and painting. Okay. Next up, I think, so I'm going to consider the bedrooms done. Because I don't plan on replacing any windows and doors. And the reason I'm not doing that is, one, because they match the house, so it doesn't make any sense to replace them. But two, when it comes to actually replacing windows and doors, it's not very simple. Like, especially, you know, in The Sims, we just pick it up and we move it and put it wherever we want, because it's a game. You can do whatever you want. Go ahead. But in real life, you have to actually stay the same size, or else you have to start considering having to reframe the window and then also doing inside drywall work or plaster, depending on your house, or stucco. And then you have to do exterior work, and that could be siding, it could be shingles, it could be shakes like it is here, it could be wood, it could be plastic, it could be concrete, it could be stucco, it could be a lot of things, and it can get pretty expensive. You also don't get the cost of the window back. So like, I delete this, I get $30. Like, that's not how real life happens. So I'm just going to leave the windows as is. But I am going to come into the bathroom and let's get rid of these first of all. So how much am I selling that for? I gotta keep track of this money. You have no idea the math that's going on behind the scenes here. The next thing I want to do is update the lighting. So there is no wall light, so I think we're not going to add any, but there is a ceiling light, so I am going to update that. So we're going to get rid of this one, but not sell it. We're going to sell it, but not make any money from it. Actually, I could just be putting this in my Sims inventory, because I don't have to worry about the cost of it. Oh my god, that would make so much more sense. So I'm going to go with something fairly generic, just because, again, we're looking at this as like a house flipper generic kind of situation. We don't want to put anything that's too stylized, too specific, anything over the top, because we most likely will not get any money back on that. And in this particular bathroom, there is no vanity, but based on where this mirror is, I'm going to assume that it was here. So we're going to go ahead and put back in like a furniture vanity, because I think that makes the most sense in this space. This is the only bathroom in the house, so I'm going to go ahead and give them this one that actually has like some storage to it. And you know what I find interesting about this particular vanity is you can actually see the plumbing at the bottom of it. That's kind of cool. That's a real thing. Let's do one with the little blue on the side to tie in with the tiles. And we'll go ahead and update the mirror as well. Okay, so for the toilet and tub, the thing is, you can't really just move toilet plumbing wherever you want. It doesn't work that way. So, not to get too into detail here or anything, but based on the way that your roof runs is how your joists in your house run. Considering your roof sits like this, all of your joists are going to run left to right. So then if we come back in here and look at the bathroom, my joists will run left to right. And the reason I'm telling you about the joist is because if you want to move toilet plumbing, you have to stay within the joist, because you cannot cut through a joist once it's already existing. You can, but it has to be like a certain size, and toilet plumbing is too big. You cannot move it like that. So it can only move left to right, meaning that this toilet could only go from this wall to the other wall, but it would not be cheap. It would cost a lot, because that plumbing is not cheap. So I'm going to leave the toilet where it's located, and I'm going to leave the tub where it's located, but I will update the fixtures. So this is definitely not the ideal situation for being the only bathroom in the house, considering it has just a tub and no shower. But there really is no way to get a shower happening here. I mean, I could just swap it out for a shower, or we could do like a shower tub combination. I just don't like the way some of these shower tub combos look, but I think we might have to do it just for the sake of doing a realistic renovation, because of where that window's placed. You can't have a window in a shower unless it's like follows these very specific rules. So I don't feel like getting into that. I think we're just going to put a tub in here. But unfortunately, this one faces the wrong direction. I know technically your sim can't use this, but I'm doing this for the sake of the renovation. It needs to be correct, okay? It needs to be correct. The plumbing can't be in the middle of the room, and we can't afford to move it. This room does not look good. This is not the shower curtain I'd recommend with this, but like the other tub is this fancy, scary one. You know what? Fine. We're going to do that one instead. So this is something that you technically, legally, I guess, could do with the shower curtain around. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure if that's something that we could get away with if we were to try and do it at my job, but I needed a shower in this bathroom. So I'm going to consider the bathroom done. And we didn't spend too much money having to do it. We just paid for fixtures, updated fixtures, because we didn't move anything around. I am going to go ahead and update the light fixtures in the living room. So we'll get rid of that one. And we're just going to do some simple pot lights. Because again, I think that makes the most sense. I think we'll update the light fixtures in the bedrooms. I don't think I'm going to do pot lights though. I think I want to do... Well, I feel like I have like no options for ceiling lights. Okay, you know what? We are going to do pot lights in the bedroom. It's pretty boring, but we're going to do it. Alright, my nemesis here is the kitchen. Because this one doesn't make a lot of sense. I understand if this was the idea being that this is a non-functional fireplace, but you would never put things in front of it. So now we're going to have to pay to move... Well, it's a wood-burning stove, so I don't believe it would be connected to anything, so I think we can go ahead and get rid of that with no issue. But now we're going to have to pay to run either a new electric line if we use an electric stove, or a new gas line if we use a gas stove. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep the sink where it's at, just so I can remember that's where it's at. I'm going to leave these lights because we will have to replace them or pay to close like the circuit, the connection, so we can hide it behind the wall. A fridge can move usually just fine, so I'm not too concerned about that. We could move that. I'm really struggling to come up with a logical idea for this fireplace. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to box in the fireplace. So we're going to pay to have a wall put in front of it. I am going to pay for the stonework to be put like in front of it. Because just imagine that we're bricking over the fireplace. But what I'm going to do is take a decent chunk of money away from our budget here. Let's say like 2,000 simoleons for making the fireplace not usable and closing it up like that. Definitely not the most cost-effective thing that we could be doing, but really James set us up with a terrible design, so we're struggling here, we're struggling. But that gives me somewhere to put my cabinets now. So I can run my cabinets in the way that he had put them. I think I am going to leave the refrigerator over here, which is it's odd. It may look odd, but that's something that's very standard in like old homes, especially in my area. The fridge is usually just kind of floating out in space because in old houses they weren't planned for because they didn't have them. So let me figure out what oven we want to use so that we can decide whether it's gas or electric and how much that's going to cost us to run a line for it. I would love to use the new Dream Home Decorator stuff with like the wall oven situation and the cooktop. They would be so great, but like it doesn't make sense to pay to have those put in here. I think I'm gonna go with the Snowy Escape one, which to me looks electric. Black appliances are all the rage right now, so let's go with that one. So let's see. Let's say it cost 500 simoleons. No, let's say 500 simoleons to run that line. Well, really it's not running a line, it's adding an additional circuit to your circuit breaker because large appliances need their own dedicated circuit. Okay, now that we've done that, I'm going to basically, I think, just update everything else. So there'll be the cost to, we didn't do cost to install the new fixtures in there. We'll do an overall cost to install all the new fixtures and labor of installing these products at the end. But I think everything else will just be cost in terms of adding stuff in here. Because I will replace these lights with other wall lights. I know it seems kind of silly, but well, we do have 14,000. I think we can afford to close those up. So let's do another 500 to cap those off so that they don't exist anymore. I'm at the stage where we can do whatever. Oh, I didn't even think about the fact that, so these two lights are in different locations. These stayed in the same location, which is fine. There would be a cost to switch out those fixtures, but these ones moved locations. So let's do another 500 simoleons to do that. Renovations are expensive, y'all. Okay, and then like I said, so I'll do a general number at the end for the cost of updating fixtures. So like updating these light fixtures, installing all the plumbing, installing all these cabinets and whatnot. We'll just do a big total at the end for that. I hope I have enough money. You know what I'm really disappointed by? That I'm just now realizing with this pack? So the two new kitchen sets, one being all drawers and one being like a door and a drawer, they don't have matching colorways. So like I can't do this. So even though it's technically the same wood tone, they have different countertops. So I can't do that. Like they don't match. Dang it. I wanted to be able to like mix and match them. I thought that would look so good to be able to like choose whether it was like drawers or not in a certain area. That would be so nice, but this one's jacking it up. Okay, fine. It's gonna be a set of drawers. Okay, so I did the same thing in here with the recessed can lights as I did in the other room. So I need to add or get rid of an additional 500 simoleons. All right. Well, we've got a start here. I don't know. Do we want to do any wall cabinets? We might just do floating shelves. Fun fact, since this is an electric stove, at least here in my state, you don't need an exhaust hood or like a vent for it. The only time they are required is if you have a gas one. So I'm not putting a hood in because I don't want to have to pay for the item and then the labor to vent it out. So I think in theory we're done. So I don't plan on like furnishing or decorating this or anything because I just wanted to do a general like house flip. And this is all that would be required in a house flip is your basic stuff here. In terms of furnishings and whatnot, that's all on you to bring in. So let's see. Let's do another 2,000 simoleons to go ahead and have installed everything. Because you know what? Labor is not cheap. Labor is not cheap. Also, if I really was doing this as a house flip, I'd probably do a little bit of landscaping, but I'm terrible at landscaping in The Sims, so I don't have the patience for that. So I think we're done. That wasn't so bad. I mean, you guys didn't see all the math that I was doing when it came to doing the flooring and walls. That was extremely confusing at first, but I figured it out. And I think it turned out not so bad. I mean, of course, there's a million and one ways that you can do a realistic renovation. I went with kind of the basic way where we didn't mess with walls, windows, doors, layouts necessarily. We did have to move the stove and deal with this fireplace situation. But other than that, this was a fairly straightforward renovation. So we started out with a budget of 22,000 simoleons, and we spent 15,333 simoleons getting this house to this state. And we have 6,667 simoleons left to technically furnish with, or my sim does. So yeah, it is way more complicated to do a realistic renovation in The Sims than it is to do a normal Sims renovation. Had we done this like a normal Sims renovation, I can guarantee you that your sim would probably have more money than they started with. Probably, just because of the whole fact that like when you replace flooring and sell all the lighting fixtures and things like that, you would have been making money. But you don't make money off that stuff in real life unless you want to sit there, remove it carefully, clean it, and then try to list it on like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or something like that. It does not happen like that in real life. And we definitely could have been way more complicated by moving doors and windows and getting into like siding work and things like that. We could have gone way off the deep end. So like I said, if you guys are interested in doing more in-depth, realistic Sims renovations, please let me know because I think this is something that I very much would enjoy. And I can come up with a hashtag so that you guys can share rooms or lots on the gallery for me to renovate. I would have so much fun with that. But anyways, guys, I'm going to leave this video here. As always, have a life, happy time zone, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!